I heard Senator Ninki saying she's a senator. She has the right to bring a motion. So if you bring a motion that is incurably bad, must we wash our dirty dinner in the public? Can't we withdraw the motion and bring back another? Can't we do consultations?
Thank you very much for recognizing me to say I should speak to the Senate. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, standing as Senator Ahmed Wadada Aliyu, my side comment had nothing to do with the literature of the motion of Senator Ireti Kingibe. As well, did not have anything to do with your position or the position of the Senate. The side comment I was making is because of this stubborn colleague of mine and my neighbor, Senator Karimi, who I will always want to remind him that I was here before him. That is just the reason of my side comment.
There's a point of order.
So, that is it. Would you apologize to me as your senior colleague or not?
Mr. President, my point.
Good morning, Senate President, my distinguished colleagues. I want to bring a matter of urgent public importance to the attention of the Senate.
Which order?
Order. Somebody tell me what order. Yes, matter of order. Hello? Order 41 and 51.
Please read.
Sorry, just a moment. The matter of discussion shall, if possible, be referred to the President of the Senate before commencement of the day's sitting, and the President of the Senate shall refuse to allow the claim unless he is satisfied that the matter is definite and urgent. If the claim is allowed by the President of the Senate and the leave of the Senate is given by at least 1/5 of all the senators, the matter shall stand over till the next legislative day. A senator moving a motion under combined orders 41 and 51 shall ensure copies of the motion are available for all senators when approval to move the motion is granted. Not more than one such motion may be made at the same sitting. Order 51. Notice shall not be dispensed with in the case of a motion or in respect of any other proceeding for which notice is required except with the consent of the President of the Senate and the general assent of the senators present.
Well, distinguished colleagues, please sit down. Distinguished Senator Ireti Kingibe mentioned that some places in the FCT are having difficulties with the waste disposal. So I wanted, I had initially tried to advise that it should come as a substantive motion before us because we have too many things today, but if you think it's very urgent, then distinguished colleagues, is it the view of the Senate that she be allowed to move this motion? Those, Senator Garuba, very urgent. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So proceed.
Senate President, distinguished colleagues, I wish to address this assembly in its constitutional capacity as the State Assembly of the Federal Capital Territory. Grave failure of waste management and sewage services in the Federal Capital Territory and the rampant desecration of designated green areas and the alleged unlawful seizure of land belonging to Buhari Hospital, and other public institutions. Sponsor Senator Ireti Kingibe, co-sponsors Senator Aliyu Wadada Ahmed, Senator Imaswa Neda, Senator Abbas Aminu Iya, Senator Dankwambo Ibrahim Hassan, Senator Kalu Oji Uzo Kalu. Sorry. The Senate notes with utmost alarm and indignation the total collapse of municipal waste collection across multiple districts of the Federal Capital Territory, where refuse has remained uncollected for several weeks, turning residential neighborhoods, markets, business districts, and public spaces into open dumps and breeding ground for disease. Also notes with deep outrage that waste management and sewage workers under the Abuja Environmental Protection Board and other FCT agencies have allegedly gone unpaid for approximately 9 months, a gross administrative failure that has triggered prolonged industrial action and paralyzed essential municipal services in the nation's capital. Further notes that former waste management contractors were owed arrears between March and October 2025, effectively crippling their operations, and that despite these outstanding liabilities, new waste management contracts were awarded in mid-November 2025, arbitrarily retaining only 50% of the unpaid contractors while introducing new ones without resolving existing financial obligations. Disturbed that the newly engaged contractors have formally stated their inability to commence operations without a 30% mobilization fee, therefore compounding delays and entrenching a sanitation crisis that threatens public health and safety. Deeply troubled that sewage systems across the FCT have been blocked and overflowing for nearly 8 months, with accumulated waste and untreated emissions now reaching catastrophic levels, constituting a clear and present danger of epidemics, environmental contamination, and large-scale public health disaster. Aware that the continued failure to clear sewage and waste exposes residents to cholera, typhoid, dysentery, and other waterborne and sanitation-related diseases, and represent an unconscionable breach of the government's duty of care to citizens. Alarmed that in several instances, even where land disputes are subject to ongoing litigation, the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory has allegedly proceeded with demolitions, revocations, and reallocations in flagrant disregard of subsisting court processes, thereby eroding the rule of law, contemptuously disregarding judicial authority, and violating the Land Use Act and other extant laws. Concerned that the egregious case of the University of Abuja, a critical national institution whose lawfully allocated land has been severely depleted, with approximately 7,000 hectares out of an original 11,000 hectares taken over, reallocated, and subjected to unauthorized use, leaving the university gravely constrained and unable to fulfill its statutory academic and developmental mandates. Observes with great concern the systemic and brazen encroachment on designated green areas under the Abuja Master Plan, areas legally reserved as service corridors for sewage, water, electricity infrastructure, environmental buffers, and flood control through illegal revocations, forced evictions, and unlawful reallocations. Also observes that these actions have far-reaching implications for public institutions, private citizens, investor confidence, national development, and represent only a fraction of numerous similar cases within the FCT. Recognizes that the destruction of green areas gravely undermines urban safety, environmental sustainability, infrastructure integrity, and the long-term viability of Abuja as a planned capital city. Recalls with dismay that the Senate, barely 1 year ago, was compelled to intervene on similar issues involving unlawful land administration, abuse of ministerial discretion, and disregard for due process in FCT. And notes with profound concern that these practices have persisted unabated in apparent defiance of legislative oversight. Constitutional and legal and constitutional anchors recalls the provisions of the FCT Act 1976 mandating strict adherence to the Abuja Master Plan, the Nazria Act 2007 empowering enforcement of environmental and sanitation standards, the Abuja Environmental Protection Board Establishment Act mandating waste and sewage management, the Environmental Impact Assessment Act 1992, the National Health Act 2014 safeguarding public health, the Land Use Act 1978 protecting land held in the public interest, particularly for health and education, Section 88 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, empowering the National Assembly to investigate maladministration and abuse of executive authority. Cognizant that continued inaction will amount to a gross dereliction of constitutional responsibility, endanger lives, violate multiple statutes, and further degrade the integrity, safety, and livability of Nigeria's capital city. Accordingly resolves to 1. Call on the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, GCFR, in his constitutional capacity as the de facto governor of the FCT to order the immediate and unconditional payment of all outstanding salaries, wages, and entitlements owed to waste management and sewage workers and contractors under the AEPB and relevant FCT agencies. 2. Urge the Federal Capital Territory Administration to immediately restore full waste collection services and ensure the emergency evacuation of all accumulated refuse across the FCT. Also urge the Abuja Environmental Protection Board to immediately deploy sewage intervention teams to unblock, rehabilitate, and restore all failed sewage systems in order to avert immediate disease outbreak. Demand that the FCT Minister and the Federal Capital Development Authority, FCDA, immediately cease and desist from all revocations, reallocations, demolitions, and alterations affecting designated green areas, pending a comprehensive audit and a strict compliance review with the Abuja Master Plan. Constitute an ad hoc committee of the Senate to conduct a thorough, time-bound investigation into the non-payment of workers and contractors, B, the collapse of waste and sewage management services, C, the procurement of processes, financial capacity, and readiness of engaged contractors, D, the status, encroachment, and illegal conversion of designated green areas, E, the compliance or otherwise of FCTA agencies and officials with the statutory, constitutional, and judicial obligations. I so submit.
Senators, my name is Mohamed Tahir Munguno. I represent Borno North Senatorial District. Mr. President, distinguished senators, the primary duty of any government is to guarantee the welfare of its citizens by way of making legislations that impact positively on their lives. And this assembly, being a responsible and responsive assembly to the yearnings and aspirations of the people, will stand up to jealously guard and protect the interests of the people whenever this interest is being encroached upon. And in this light, this motion has raised very weighty issues concerning the welfare of the citizens, especially Abuja residents and visitors to Abuja, whereby if urgent step is not taken, it is going to negatively impact on their health and their living standards. Because of the weighty allegations in this motion, based on the principle of audi alteram partem, here the other side, I will urge that we support this motion for investigation by the relevant committee to hear the other side in consonance with the principle of audi alteram partem and report back to the Senate for necessary legislative action. Thank you.
Anything?
Mr. President, we are all aware that during the last regime, Abuja was a ghost of itself. In fact, we are ashamed of how things were going in Abuja. No street light, the roads were not well maintained, and so on and so forth. But when the current minister came on board, the entire scenario changed. We're having good roads now. We're having street light everywhere. I remember, Mr. President, there was a time I had a guest who saw a beautiful Abuja in the afternoon, even though with the shortcomings, having all sorts of things going on. But in the night, he said, is it the same Abuja that I was this afternoon? Because it was in darkness. But the current minister, changed the entire face of Abuja to a different city, very beautiful city. He has been doing very well. I mean, we have to call a spade a spade. We have to call a spade a spade. He has done extremely well. Extremely well. Mr. President, if, look, in Hausa, we have an adage that that a human being is 9, it's not up to 10. You cannot solve all problems at the same time. If there are certain areas that are yet to be covered, all we need to do is to tell our committee, go and tell the minister, the hardworking minister, tell him to look at those areas and correct them. I think we should use this approach. For someone who has been doing well, you remember, Mr. President, we're all engaged throughout about 24 days or 30 days going to commission this project, the one project or the other. You were there, you commissioned. I also commissioned. So for us that have seen all these, I think what we need to do as minister or the administration is to allow the committee to interact and say, oh, you are doing very well, but so and so area need your attention. I think we should do this so that we encourage the minister so that he could do more. He's doing very well. So what we need to do is to follow this route of approaching the committee. The committee, no need for ad hoc committee. There's no need for ad hoc committee. The committees that we have, they have the mandate. The standing committees, they have the mandate to look at all these issues. So they should approach the minister and sit down in a conducive atmosphere and say, you are doing well, we thank you, we commend you, but certain areas need your attention. And then I'm sure after some time, then we'll come back and see what he has done. I say so, Mr. President. And I want to commend him. Please, the minister should continue what he's doing for Abuja. He's doing very well. Abuja has changed. We are proud of Abuja. It's our #1 symbol of our existence as a nation. Because it's a federal capital. And he's taking care of Abuja very well. Unlike what we saw in the last regime. I say so, Mr. President.
Let me say, Minister. The minister works for a president. The Federal Executive Council is directed by Commander-in-Chief. So I would rather say that I commend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the massive development and change that we have witnessed in Abuja. Since I left office as governor in 2015, I've lived here in Abuja. And I also witnessed what Abuja was like. I'm sorry, I'm not running down any previous administration. But under this administration, what the president has done in Abuja has given hope to all Nigerians. Today, Abuja is almost rated as one of the developed cities in Africa. I moved from the villa towards Asokoro. When I pass through that bridge, most times I get confused. Initially, I used to shout on my drivers. I said, "Where are you going?" That I want to go to Asokoro. And they would tell me that this is Asokoro. I said, "Where are you passing?" They said the new minister has changed the landscape. I've also had the privilege of commissioning many projects. At the time this minister commissioned projects every single day for up to 1 month. Every single day. The vice president, the president, it was an amazing situation. So for me, if there are issues of please, when our distinguished sister Ireti said she had a matter of urgent national importance, I thought it was on one subject, but what I'm saying here is on all subjects. It's on waste disposal, it's on land allocation, it's on what do you call it? It's on workers' welfare. It's on, there are many now. So what is happening here is clerk of the Senate, leader of the Senate, leader of the Senate, leader of the Senate, so that we don't continue to witness motions that tend to, they don't focus on the subject matter. Please, I think you may need to have private discussions with some senators. Because if you are having a matter of urgent national importance on waste management or waste disposal, you stick to it. You focus on it. That is our rule. But when you are asking us to go into payment of salaries, payment of wages, allowances, then waste management, then you go into demolition of property, you go into land management, you go into this. This minister has a president. The president will direct the minister on activities, and yes, he will be getting approvals from the president from time to time. I think this is too much. This is no longer. Would you describe this as matter of urgent national importance? Please speak on what speak on what this paper is all about.
Mr. President, I'm really happy this matter came up for discussion. To begin with, sir, I want to emphasize yet again that matters of urgent public importance are matters that ought to be truly urgent. And the legislative intent of orders 41 and 51 being taken together in our rules is for us to be able to demonstrate that the matter under discussion is so urgent that it cannot even wait till the next day to be placed on our order paper. Ideally, Mr. President, matters like this, as raised by distinguished Senator Ireti, are matters that should come under substantive motion on our order paper. There should be motions on notice. And to the extent that she had discussed with the Senate President, and the Senate President
she discussed with the Senate President about waste management.
Not
about
waste
lack
management.
Yes, not land allocation.
Okay.
Not payment of salaries.
So definitely, in that words, I want to say that the manner of presentation of the motion itself will go to show that it's in violation of our rule. It's not consistent with our practice and procedure. And to that extent, I'm sure rather than us going into prayers, she can be advised to withdraw, this motion, so that she can properly, again, put it together and bring it. We send it to Rules and Business to be brought, on our other paper as a substantive motion, if she still feels strongly, about the issues. But there should be no dilation of any. The subject matter should be clear and addressed specifically. Thank you.
Point of order.
What point of order?
Your permission, I read.
Please read.
The matter for discussion shall, if possible, be referred to the President of the Senate before commencement of the day's sitting, and the President of the Senate shall refuse to allow the claim unless he is satisfied that the matter is definite and urgent. So, Mr. President, she came under this order.
Yeah.
She ought to have told you the entire content, the details of the motion. And now you are saying she didn't tell you. She told you about
Waste management.
waste management. So this motion is dead on arrival because it's not in conformity with this order. You ought to have known the entire content of the motion. So Mr. President, I just want you to guide so as to allow our colleagues to understand this because of the future. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Hanga.
Certainly, I would have wanted to say something, but it looks like the leadership had already made up their minds about this case. So, I raise my case, sir. It's unfortunate.
Thank you. Senator Ome, I was told this land allocation, the lack of payment of salaries, demolition, all these things inside here, are they part of Order 41?
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Victor Ome, OFR. I represent Anambra Central Senatorial District. Mr. President, but for the content of Order 4151, which required the distinguished senator to show you her motion, what she intended to present through that Order 4151. From your explanation, you were not briefed with all the details of this motion before you permitted her to go on. Otherwise, Mr. President, the content of the section on waste management is a very serious matter for the Senate to discuss. If the Senate is not minded to take all the things at the same time.
Senator Ome?
Yes.
Senator Ome,
Yes.
I must stop you. I pointed out to you that when she mentioned the fact that there is a failure of the sewage system in Abuja and that it is a danger to lives of human beings, I said it's urgent enough to bring it to the Senate floor. So, but when she's talking about allocation of land and reallocation and talking about demolition, talking about payment of salaries, so this is no longer under Order 41. Distinguished colleagues, please.
The way she came is inappropriate.
I
Maybe
want
should
to
be advised to separate the content of this
and
motion
then flagrant
and bring
abuse
a formal
of
motion.
FCT Act. And all those things are not for, this is like a total proof of the entire. Senator Mangunu, can you please
There
move
are so
a
many
motion
things
on
in
the
one.
way forward?
Mr.
There are too many things inside there. This is no longer Order 41. I just want us to be guided by our rules. Please, let's be guided by our rules.
Mr. President, Mr. President, distinguished senators, once again, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Borno North Senatorial District. Mr. President, having initially called for investigation of the matter based on the principle of audi alteram partem, but after listening carefully to the remarks of the President of the Senate, to the extent that he is not fully briefed of the content of the motion, I still rely on Order 41 to say that you cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand. It is bad and it is incurably bad. Therefore, Mr. President, I urge my sister, Senator Ireti Kingibe, to withdraw that motion because it is in flagrant violations of our rules. And there is nothing to discuss before the Senate based on our rules. Because you cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand. It is bad and it is incurably. The operating word here is incurably bad. And therefore it cannot proceed. Thank you.
So you move that we request her to withdraw her motion because
withdraw her motion and properly bring a motion only on sewage issue, which seems to be something that is urgent and needs urgent attention of the Senate, based on the discretion of the President of the Senate. Thank you.
So the violation of NESRA Act, FCT Act, allocation, reallocation of land, demolition, payment of salaries, payment of allowances, all these things were not, they are not part of Order 41.
They are not part of the issues raised with you.
They were not part of the issues raised before me.
With you. And based on rules, all these things are supposed to be fully raised with you. You should be seized of the facts of the motion.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Karimi, I am co-sponsor to this motion. Who gave you the floor?
The President gave me the floor.
Okay, sorry, sir.
Are you the President?
Sorry.
Thank you. Mr. President, my colleagues, this motion, just like the Senator Maguno said, was brought to you in deceit because she came up with a subject on environmental
waste management, brought issues that are not connected with that. Non-payment of workers and contractors, procurement processes, financial capacity, readiness of newly engaged contractors, the statutes, the compliance, otherwise of in fact,
so many things that are not connected.
There's even one here that I've just seen. Depletion of the land of Federal University by 7,000 square meters.
It's time for her to withdraw this motion.
No, it's important for us to get to the root of it.
This motion has to be withdrawn.
Please, sorry.
Let her come back with it. No, this motion has to be withdrawn.
Distinguished colleagues, is it the view of the Senate that distinguished Senator Ireti Kingibe be allowed to withdraw this motion?
Yeah.
Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Okay. You may wish to withdraw your motion. Senator Wadada, you may wish to speak to the floor. You are making side comments. What we are saying is that Senator King has a motion of urgent national importance in line with our rules. and it has to do with the total failure of waste management in the FCT, which is affecting lives. That is urgent. But in our motion here, we are seeing something about non-mobilization of contractors. We are seeing something about, it has nothing to do with waste management. We have seen something about allocation and reallocation of land. We have seen something about demolition. We have seen something about depletion of the University of Abuja land. We have seen something about allowances. So I want you, as a national importance. And what we are advising is that in view of the fact that too many things are bundled into this motion, can she pick the item that is most important and bring back to us? And the senators have taken the decision, but if you are sitting down there and then I heard Senator Ningi saying she's a senator, she has the right to bring a motion. So if you bring a motion that is incurably bad, must we wash our dirty linen in the public? Can't we withdraw the motion and bring back another? Can't we do consultations?
Thank you very much for recognizing me to say I should speak to the Senate. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, standing as Senator Ahmed Wadada Aliyu, my side comment had nothing to do with the literature of the motion of Senator Ireti Kingibe. As well, did not have anything to do with your position or the position of the Senate. The side comment I was making is because of this stubborn colleague of mine and my neighbor, Senator Karimi, who I will always want to remind him that I was here before him. That is just the reason of my side comment.
There is a point of order.
So, that is it. Would you apologize to me as your senior colleague or not?
Mr. President, my point